Aloha, this is Jungle Joe, and today we're going to go on a little walk around through our gardens, permaculture, food forest. Yep, so we're going to start right here. We have a small garden fenced in, keep our chickens out. And this is where we grow our greens, start some seedlings. There's not a whole lot in here right now, but just some daikon. There's some daikon here and some kale, mostly. And then we have some beans here potted up. And for our potting mix, we use the local dirt mixed with the cinder, which is like a pumice rock, real fine rock. I can show you some, but and the beans are doing pretty good. But yeah, we grow those in pot because they need decent drainage. We get a lot of rain here, 160 inches average for rain. So and here we have lemon. This is the pink lemon, and this was air layered off one of our lemons. We started air layering this year, and that's doing pretty good. And banyan tree here in a pot. We need to get this one in the ground, get it planted. You can see it's getting thick, ready to go. We use it for a Christmas tree for a couple seasons. And then we have a bunch of white pineapples. This season we bought 300 white pineapples about 4 months ago and planted them. And they're doing good. We're gonna get a good pineapple crop. They were good sized slips, so we're getting fruits already off of some of the slips we planted. And here we have white guava, or no, this is the pink guava, Ruby Supreme pink guava, and it's loaded with fruit right now. They're all pretty small, but they're starting to get ripe. Here's one that's starting to get ripe. They get yellow and then they ripen real quick. Eat them up. And then we have a coffee tree here. We have a couple, 2-3 coffee bushes. And they're doing pretty good. We'll get enough coffee, a little bit for a few pots. And coffee you can top. Once you harvest the coffee berries, you can top the plant and cut the stalk into sections, 18-inch sections, stick it in the ground. You can plant new coffee and it'll shoot up from the base there, from the stump of where you cut it. This coffee here was from a cutting from that bush. Then we have some plants in pots here. The acerola cherry. This is a lime that we air layered. It's got fruit on it, ready to be planted. Guava, this is a white guava here in the pot. And the gardenia. And cranberry hibiscus, which you can make a nice tea out of, the flower. And Malabar chestnut we have here. And there's another Malabar chestnut here, larger. The plant looks like when it gets bigger. And bananas. We have the Misuluki type banana. Does pretty well here. We have like an apple banana too. But just a couple varieties of bananas. This little patch is doing pretty good. Patch of bananas. And we have our methane digester, and all our overflow fertilizer is piped down the hill here to our fruit trees. Fertilizes our fruit trees. Works great. And walking over this way, we have more of our pineapples. And these were all planted, about 4 months ago. Doing well. We have one here, getting a nice big pineapple, getting close to being ripe. And then we have a Jamaican cherry tree. This is about a 2-year-old tree. These grow really fast, grow easy. Get quite a few small fruits. They're small fruits, but they're delicious little berries. I can see there's a ripe one up there. We'll need to come back later and pick. And over here we have the macambo, which is like a white cacao, white chocolate in the cacao family. So we'll see. That's pretty exciting. Get that growing. Transplanted that, put that in not too long ago. It's doing pretty good. And then we have kukui nut here, which is the state tree, the kukui nut. And lilikoi vine. This one was planted this year, starting to get fruit, flowers and fruit. Here's a flower, lilikoi flower. And we have a few different types of lilikoi growing on the property, a few different vines, purple one and yellow one. And then we have, let's see, we have a fig here. Hasn't set fruit yet. Needs a little weeding, but we'll see with all our rain how the figs do here. Tomato plant in the pot here. This is a volunteer avocado. Throw avocado pits out. They grow pretty easy, but they say only 1 in 10 from seed will make fruit. So be aware of that. And then we have moringa in the pot here. And this likes it drier, so we have it in a pot with no dirt. It's just basically rock for drainage. And the root is supposed to taste like horseradish, so we could dig up the root. We're gonna try that and see how it tastes. And our cacao here is doing really well. It put on some fruit this last season, and now we're getting a bunch more fruits on it. And this little flower in the pot here is pu'ukeni, which is a flower they use here in Hawaii for lei making. And blueberry plant in the pot. I feel like the blueberry's not doing real well here. Maybe too much rain. Or a durian. This is ready to go in the ground. Durian. Another fig. Let's see, we have the longquat here. And this was air layered off our larger longquat that's in the ground. And this one's ready to go in the ground too now. And then the giant lilikoi. And this one fruits all year long. And yeah, this is giant fruits. So you can see the fruits hanging here. And delicious. It's very sweet lilikoi. Kind of a big seed in it though. But edible seeds, delicious fruit, and the rind is edible. You can pickle the rind. I've heard of different recipes you can do with the rind of a giant lilikoi. And this is another acerola cherry in the ground here. And a dwarf coconut. This is doing pretty well. It's 5-year-old dwarf coconut. And we have a small pond on the property, natural pond. We dug it out a bit. We have tilapia and catfish in there, and we have ducks. They like to swim around in the pond. And lots of taro all around the pond here. We have lots of taro going. Grows great, likes the wet. And stopping at our bathhouse here, we have loofah growing on the bathhouse. And we had some loofah plants growing and we brought the loofahs down here, the sponges, and a random seed fell in the crack here and started growing, and no soil. growing super well. So pretty amazing. We just gave it a little bit of fertilizer there, but no dirt growing out of the rocks there. And then we have the blood orange. This is doing pretty good. The orange, it hasn't flowered or fruited yet, but it's been doing really good, really healthy. And then we have tangerine here. And this is fruiting for the first time this year. Yeah, most of these trees are 5 years old. This area was planted, some of the first stuff we planted when we moved here. Djibouti Kaba here. Still no fruit on that yet. Hopefully soon. We have a couple of the Suriname cherry bushes, which have been really productive this year. We had a lot of fruit on them. And delicious, delicious fruits. I really like the Suriname cherry. There are chickens over here hanging out. We have a little chicken coop. And this is calamansi lime. And they get yellow when they get ripe. They turn yellow. So these ones are not quite ripe, but starting to turn a little bit. And this is really productive. Fruits all year round. And then we have breadfruit, the Maafala breadfruit. And it's got some breadfruits on it. Doing pretty well. And our jackfruit here. This is the second season for fruit on our jackfruit. And it's doing pretty good. Got some big ones going back in here. So it seems to like the rain. It does well in the rainforest. Grows pretty quick. And then we have star apple here. And the star apple's flowering here, just starting to flower. And that's the first time, but it's loaded with flowers, so we'll see. I've never tried a star apple, but I'm sure they're tasty. And then we have a mac nut here, and it flowered last year, but didn't set any fruits, any mac nuts. But this year it flowered, and we've got a couple mac nuts going. And then we're doing air layers on that one too. We have a couple air layers, and we'll be planting those pretty soon. And another breadfruit here, the Maafala, same type as our big one. And this is the black sapote, which is in the persimmon family. It's like a black persimmon. And over here we have long gun, which is doing pretty well. New growth on it, and another dwarf coconut. And walking back over this way, we have a little guest house over here, which is mostly pallet building. We built a couple of years ago. And we have the egg fruit tree. And curry, a little curry bush. Add some flavor to your meals. Delicious spice. Edible berry. And the abiyu tree. And this is fruited for a couple seasons now, and it's full of blooms right now. And there's one small fruit on the tree. Not ripe, but an allspice bush here, allspice tree, doing well. That's another great one to have for all your baking. And a lime bush here. This is same as the one we air layered up by the house there. We showed you with the fruit on it. And it has some small fruits. It'll be a few months, then we'll have quite a few limes on that one. And soursop here to the left. This is one that I started from seed, and definitely a little slow growing, but it's starting to take off, looking good. And a kratom here. We have a kratom tree. It's doing well, grows well here. And jackfruit. This was planted a little later, a couple years ago. So maybe in a couple years we'll get fruit off of that. Probably 4 years total, yeah. And then we have some dragon fruit, yellow dragon fruit here. And this is these big beautiful flowers. And it's all flowering and fruiting right now. Here's this flower, pretty cool. But these fruits are about ready, I think, so we could probably pick one of those off and cut it open. I've never tried the yellow dragon fruit. We'll take these little spines off of here. Seem to come off pretty easy. And then we'll cut it open, see how it looks inside, give everybody a look, and then we'll probably take it up to the house and we'll eat it, try it out. Yeah, watch out for the spines on your yellow dragon fruit. Well, let's walk and we'll cut this open at the house. So here we have another lime, a smaller lime. And citrus air layers really well if you ever want to air layer any of the citrus trees, or air layer quick and easy. And here's grapefruit, Jabong grapefruit. I've never tried it, don't know much about it. Supposed to be a very sweet grapefruit though, from what I've heard. And then we have some more guavas. This is a Indonesian white guava. And some katuk here growing in with our guavas. And this is a good staple to grow, the katuk. It's really hardy. Grow it from a cutting, you just stick it in the ground, it'll grow. The leaves are edible, and these small berries are edible. Really delicious little berry. Nice little crunch to them. You can put them in your salad, eat them raw. Pretty yummy. And then we have a noni here, a little noni bush. And it's getting some fruits on it, noni fruits, just starting. Another guava, Indonesian white guava. And the guavas grow really easy. You know, hardy, very hardy plants. Papaya, we have a few papayas. We need to start more papayas, but they're doing well. The longquat here, this is again similar to an apricot, like a small apricot, or in the apricot family. And pretty hardy. I feel like this one will probably fruit this year. It hasn't fruited yet, but. And then we have an avocado. This was a grafted avocado. So like I said earlier, if you're starting from seed, only 1 in 10 will actually set fruit. So you get the grafted one that's, will set fruit. And that's doing well. Over here we have rambutan. Nice healthy rambutan bush. And this one got a few flowers last year, but didn't set fruit. Hopefully this year we'll get flowers and fruit, and everybody will be eating those. And over here, we have our lychee, Kaimana lychee. And it's a really low-growing, squatty type of tree. Spreads out. And this again was like the rambutan. It flowered and it flowered but didn't set fruit last year. But it's got a lot of new growth this year, and we'll probably get some fruit off of that. And then we have our Rolenia here, which has been really productive. We have a bunch of fruits hanging on it. And the Rolenia, it'll flower and fruit, and then it loses its leaves. And then it flowers, fruits again. So you can get two crops a year of fruits from the Rolenia. And there's one there. We got a nice ripe one. Take that up for a snack at the house. And then over here we have soursop. Decent sized soursop. No fruit or flowers on that yet, but soon, very soon. It's doing well. And this is white sapote, which I don't know much about the white sapote. So if anybody knows, comment, let me know if you ever tried a white sapote or growing it. And we have a durian over here. It's doing pretty good. Starting to take off. A couple more years, we'll have our own durian fruits. Love it. Love it. Gardening in the jungle. It's wonderful. We have kumquat here. And we did a couple air layers off of this tree, this kumquat, and they both did really good. So we'll have a couple more a couple more kumquats to plant here real soon. And then walking up the driveway here, we have a mountain apple to the side here. Doing pretty good. You need to come down here and do a little weeding, get my machete out. But things are pretty hardy once your trees are big enough to be established in the ground. You grow them up in a pot a little bit so they're maybe 4 feet tall, and then you plant them. And they're pretty hardy. You don't need to weed them too much. And then up by the house here, by our water tank, we have some Vietnamese cilantro growing. And this grows really easy, spreads out, needs some drainage, like you can almost just grow it in a rock. It does pretty well. And here's one of our kumquats that we air layered. Doing pretty good. So we have some goji berry plants here that we just started from seed. We're gonna see how that does here in the tropics. And from what I've read, they're pretty hardy. They should do well. Give them some drainage and something to grow on, a trellis, and pretty basic. And yeah, our dragon fruit here, let's cut it open. The end of the tour. See the delicious fruit, and then we'll relax and enjoy. A little bit of spines on there to watch out for sure. Cut this little end of it off here. And there it is, the yellow dragon fruit. Looks perfect, ready to eat. All right, we're gonna go enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.